Imagine this. It's a quiet Tuesday morning. You've just poured your coffee. You sit down at the kitchen table, and you open an envelope from the Social Security Administration. And inside there's a letter that says you owe the government over $14,000. It says if you don't pay it back, they will start taking money directly from your monthly Social Security check. Not 10%, not a small amount, 50%. Half of your check, gone. And if they believe there was fraud involved, even if you've done nothing wrong, they can take 100%. Your check becomes $0. You read that correctly. 0. This is not a hypothetical. This is happening right now to retirees across America. And what terrifies me is that most people who get this letter have no idea they have rights. They have no idea there are forms that can stop this. They have no idea they have as little as 30 days to act before it's too late. I am Edward. I am a senior policy analyst specializing in Social Security rules, retirement finance, and the government policies that directly affect your benefits. And I made this video because the rules around Social Security overpayments have changed 3 times in just over a year. The confusion is real, the fear is real, and the consequences, if you do nothing, are devastating. Here is my promise to you today. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what an overpayment notice means, why you may have received one, and the 3 specific steps you must take to protect your check. I am also going to tell you about 3 official government forms that most seniors have never heard of. These forms can freeze collection, reduce your payment, or even eliminate the debt entirely. But I need you to stay with me until the very end, because there is a mistake that millions of seniors make when they receive this letter. And that one mistake in doing nothing is the single most expensive thing you can do. Let's get into it. Let me tell you about Robert. Robert is 67 years old. He lives in Ohio. He worked as a maintenance supervisor for 31 years. He retired at 65, started collecting Social Security, and for the first 2 years of retirement, everything was fine. His check came on the second Wednesday of every month like clockwork, $2,040, direct deposit. That money, combined with a small pension, was his lifeline. His rent, his groceries, his medications, his car insurance, it all depended on that check. Then, one day in February, Robert got a letter. The Social Security Administration said they had overpaid him by $11,800. They said that during the first 18 months of his retirement, his benefit had been calculated incorrectly. Now here's what's important. Robert didn't do anything wrong. He didn't lie on his application. He didn't hide income. The SSA itself made an error in their calculation based on incomplete earnings data. But the letter didn't say, "We made a mistake and we're sorry." The letter said, "You owe us $11,800, and if you don't pay it back within 30 days, we will begin withholding 50% of your monthly benefit." Robert panicked. Then he did what a lot of people do. He set the letter aside. He told himself it had to be a mistake. He figured someone at Social Security would catch the error and fix it. He told himself he'd call next week. Next week became next month. Next month became 3 months. And then one morning, Robert checked his bank account. His deposit was not $2,040. It was $1,020, half. They took exactly half. Robert called Social Security immediately. He waited on hold for 2 hours and 16 minutes. When he finally reached someone, they told him the withholding had already started, and that because he hadn't filed an appeal or a waiver request within 30 days, there was no automatic freeze on collection. Now Robert could still file. He could still fight it, but the money was already being taken, and getting it back would take months. Robert's story is not unusual. According to the SSA's own Inspector General, the agency made approximately $11.3 billion in improper payments in fiscal year 2025 alone. $9.3 billion of that was overpayments. And as AARP reported, Many of these overpayments are the agency's own errors. Bill Sweeney, AARP's Senior Vice President for Government Affairs, said it plainly. Oftentimes, these mistakes are actually Social Security's fault, and slapping people with huge penalties for mistakes other people made just isn't right. Robert's mistake was not causing the overpayment. Robert's mistake was waiting. Don't be Robert. Let me walk you through exactly what the law says, what has changed, and what your rights are. I'm going to keep this simple and clear. What is an overpayment? An overpayment is when Social Security pays you more money than you were entitled to receive. This can happen for many reasons. Maybe your income changed and you didn't report it in time. Maybe your living situation changed. Maybe your marital status changed. Or, and this is critical, maybe the SSA itself made a calculation error. Under the Social Security Act, Sections 204 and 1631B, the SSA is required by law to try to recover overpayments when they are identified. That's right, they don't have a choice. The law says they must come after the money. How the withholding rate has changed and why it matters right now. This is where the confusion comes from, and I need you to pay very close attention. Before March 2024, the default withholding rate was 100%. If Social Security said you owed them money, they could stop your entire check until the debt was repaid. Your check could literally go to zero. Then in March 2024, after enormous public outcry and pressure from Congress, the SSA lowered the default rate to just 10%. That was a big relief. But on March 7, 2025, the SSA announced it was reversing course. Acting Commissioner Lee Dudek said the agency would reinstate the 100% withholding rate for all new overpayments starting March 27, 2025. The backlash was immediate, and on April 25, 2025, the SSA issued what's called Emergency Message EM 25029, which set the new default rate at 50%, and that is where we are today. 50% withholding is the current default for all new Title II overpayments. That includes retirement benefits, survivor benefits, and Social Security disability insurance. For SSI, supplemental security income, the withholding rate remains 10%. That part never changed. Let me put this in real numbers so it's clear. The average Social Security retirement benefit in 2026 is approximately $2,071 per month. Under the current 50% default, the SSA would automatically withhold about $1,035 per month. That leaves you with roughly $1,036 before your Medicare Part B premium is even deducted. For many seniors, that is not enough to cover rent alone, let alone food, medications, and utilities. Now, let me tell you something even more important. The most common causes of overpayments are not fraud. They are not criminal. According to the Urban Institute's Jack Smulligan, as cited by AARP, overpayments, quote, often result from people misunderstanding the rules and not intentionally violating the rules. And according to the SSA's own website, one of the listed causes is, and I quote, "We incorrectly figure your benefits because of incorrect or incomplete information." That means the government can make a mistake, send you money you didn't ask for, and then years later send you a bill and start taking half your check if you don't act. And here's what makes it worse. According to the SSA Inspector General's data from fiscal year 2015 through fiscal year 2022, the agency accumulated nearly $72 billion in cumulative improper payments. The overwhelming majority were overpayments. This is not a rare event. This is a systemic issue affecting millions of Americans. Now let me tell you about the consequences if you ignore this. If you take no action after receiving an overpayment notice, the SSA will automatically begin the 50% withholding after approximately 90 days. There is no second warning. If fraud is suspected, the rate is 100%. Your check goes to zero. If you are no longer receiving benefits, The SSA can refer the debt to the U.S. Treasury Department's offset program. That means they can seize your IRS tax refund and potentially certain state payments. If you are still working, even part-time, they can pursue wage garnishment. And this is the part that shocks most people. There is no statute of limitations. The SSA can come after overpayments that are years or even decades old. The debt does not expire, and if you pass away before the debt is fully repaid, the SSA can pursue recovery from anyone receiving benefits based on your record. That means your surviving spouse's check could be reduced to pay your debt. The SSA's own website says it directly. If you die before you fully repay an overpayment, we may seek repayment from anyone who receives benefits based on your record. This is why doing nothing is the most dangerous choice you can make. But here is the good news. You have rights. Real, powerful, legally protected rights. And the government has published the exact forms you need to use. Let me show you. If you receive a Social Security overpayment notice, or if you're worried you might receive one, here are the 3 steps you need to take right now. Step 1. Act within 30 days. File an appeal, a waiver, or both. This is the most urgent step. The SSA's own website states clearly, if you ask for a waiver or appeal within 30 days, we won't collect the money until we decide on your request. That 30-day window is your shield. It legally freezes all collection activity. If you believe you were not overpaid or that the amount is wrong, file Form SSA 561, which is called Request for Reconsideration. You have 60 days to file this, but I strongly recommend filing within 30 days to trigger the collection freeze. If you believe the overpayment may have happened but it was not your fault and you cannot afford to repay it, file Form SSA 632BK, which is called Request for Waiver of Overpayment Recovery. And here's the part most people don't know. You can file both at the same time. The SSA's own website says, if you are not sure what caused the overpayment, you may ask for a reconsideration, a waiver, or both. You do not have to choose one or the other. File both. Protect yourself from every angle. And if you receive SSI and the overpayment is $2,000 or less, you may be able to request a waiver over the phone by calling 1-800-772-1213. You may not even need to fill out a form. Step 2. Request a lower withholding rate using Form SSA 634. Even if you agree that an overpayment occurred and even if your waiver is denied, you do not have to accept the 50% default. Form SSA 634 is called Request for Change in Overpayment Recovery Rate. When you fill out this form, you provide information about your monthly income, your rent or mortgage, your food costs, your medical expenses, and your other bills. You are showing the SSA that taking 50% of your check would cause you genuine hardship. They are required to review your request and respond. Many people are able to get the rate reduced significantly. Do not assume the stated rate is final. It is a default. It is not a verdict. Step 3. Document everything and know your tax rights. Keep a copy of every letter, every form you submit, every confirmation number, and every note from every phone call. Write down the date, the time, the name of the person you spoke with, and what they told you. And here is something your tax preparer needs to know. According to IRS Publication 915, if you repay Social Security benefits that you previously included in your taxable income, you may be entitled to a tax deduction or a tax credit. If the repayment is $3,000 or less, you can claim a deduction on Schedule A. If the repayment is more than $3,000, you may qualify for a special credit under what's called the Claim of Right Doctrine, Section 1941 of the Internal Revenue Code. This can recalculate your prior year tax as if you never received the overpaid income in the first place. Tell your tax preparer about this. Many don't think to ask, and it can save you real money. Let me quickly summarize the 3 forms you need to know. Form SSA 561 to appeal the overpayment if you think it's wrong. Form SSA 632BK to request a waiver if it's not your fault and you can't afford it. Form SSA 634 to lower your monthly withholding rate. All three are available on ssa.gov. You can download them, print them, fill them out, and submit them online by fax or by mail. Go to ssa.gov, manage benefits, resolve overpayment. That is your starting point. I want to say something directly to you right now. If you are watching this video, you are already ahead of most people. Most seniors who receive an overpayment notice don't know about these forms. They don't know about the 30-day rule. They don't know they can negotiate. They don't know they can fight it. Now you do. But I also need you to understand something important. The Social Security Administration has lost over 7,000 employees in the last year. Field offices are reducing in-person visits by 50%. Phone wait times are regularly exceeding 2 hours. Technology systems that were supposed to help have been delayed twice. The safety net is still there, but reaching it has never been harder. That means you cannot afford to wait. If that letter arrives, you act that same day, not next week, not next month, that day. And if you found this helpful, if this changed what you know, then I need your help too. Share this video with someone you love, a parent, a spouse, a neighbor, a friend from church. Anyone over the age of 60 who depends on Social Security needs to see this because the government is not going to knock on their door and explain their rights. Now, here is the most important thing I'm going to say today. YouTube notifications are not reliable. The algorithm decides what you see and when you see it. If there is a sudden policy change, a new overpayment rule, a Medicare premium increase, a banking regulation that affects your direct deposit, you might not see my video about it for days or even weeks. And with some of these rules, days matter. 30 days is all you get. That is exactly why I created the Global Senior Alerts official WhatsApp channel. When you join this channel, you will get real-time alerts sent straight to your phone about every major rule change, deadline, and policy update that affects your Social Security, your Medicare, your pension, your bank accounts, your insurance, and your travel rights. You will also be able to download the free Senior Benefits Protection Guide, which includes a printable checklist of every form number, every phone number, and every deadline mentioned in today's video. You can keep it in a folder at home and pull it out the moment you need it. The link is in the description below this video. Tap it right now. It takes 10 seconds to join and it costs absolutely nothing. One last thing, if you or someone you know has already received an overpayment notice and you're not sure what to do, leave a comment below this video. Tell me your situation. I read every single comment and I will do my best to point you in the right direction. You worked your whole life for this benefit. You earned it. And no government error, no bureaucratic letter, no policy change should take it from you without you knowing your rights. I am Edward. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.